welcome. So exciting. We're here to discuss AI and peer review. And I'm Havemann. Oh, actually, I said I would call somebody. Let me do that now. And you will soon understand why. Okay. So we're here to discuss all the nitty and gritty things about peer review and how AI may facilitate or make it more difficult to do just that. And please switch to the Google Doc. Oh, no, the Google Doc. I didn't see what you meant, but the Google Doc, that's a website. Thank you. Oh. The pad, right? Number 8. The pad. The number 8. Yay, technology. As if it's promising to make everything easier and more efficient, and then, yay, excellent. Can you make it bigger? Just a bit, so that we can see. So, the session is co-hosted by 3 of us. Here in the room with us is Tim Errington from the Center of Open Science, and we also have Nyambura, who's part of my team. Let me just quickly call her because as a Zoom participant, she cannot engage with us, but I want you to say hello to her, just briefly. Let's see if that works. Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear that? So that's Nyambura. You will see a picture of her in the slide deck later. Everybody can hear you. You're on the mic. Please say hi to everyone.
Oh, hello everyone. I can see you all, but you can't see me.
Okay, everyone please say hi to Nyambura. Thank you. Please say hi.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a bit shy. They're a bit shy. We're just getting started. Okay, thanks. Thanks for taking notes. Also feel free to add your input to the notes document. This is pad 8 for all of you who... Nancy, I'm hanging up so you can follow through the Zoom. Thanks. So that's Nyambura. Tim Errington is here with us, who will give his input about what cool things they developed at the Center for Open Science for peer review and AI. And this document is full of resources. I don't have a slideshow to avoid technical hiccups like we just experienced, but this very document is for you to provide your input. And please scroll down a bit. There's a peer review resources dashboard, and this one is a project that some of my colleagues and I have developed over the past 2 years, and it's a living database, so to say. With that, could you please switch to the live page? So you can also find the link to this Looker Studio dashboard, which is interactive. And now we have a short listing of peer review resources, which are yet to be completed by you and other people and our team. And now this is a short list of resources that you can find online on publishers' website, on university resource, educational websites, whatever. YouTube tutorials on peer review, whatnot. And this is a snapshot of what's out there with regards to types of resources, categories by which they are listed. Now, short list is for introduction. So here you'll find a list of resources that give an introduction to peer review if you want to inform your students or colleagues. And then you can also switch to ethics, and you can select 1 or 2 or many, or just 1 or all of these categories. And see there's now 8 currently. I'm sure there's more out there, so we rely on everyone, including yourselves, to contribute to this database. And there's a CC by something to acknowledge the origin of the initiative, but otherwise any significant contributor will be acknowledged by name and or affiliation to have contributed on co-own this resource for the community. And what we develop here today in the AI and peer review will also be included. Thank you. Now back to the Google Doc. Does everybody have access to the Google Doc? Who doesn't and would like to? Oh, okay. Well, thank you. You totally made up for the hiccup earlier. Thanks. Nice. Okay, everybody has access now? Otherwise, ask your neighbor. Thanks. Back to the. We're a bit of a time train here. What? Ask your neighbor. You can airdrop, whatever. So now, if you scroll down. Oh. So there's plenty of space for you to. Okay, so now welcome. So what we would like you to also how to engage, right directly under each prompt, your question, consideration, comment on any of the questions and topics. Keep your comments short, clear, and respectful. Feel free to use emojis to react or highlight ideas, also to vote with a star or your initials. You will find reminders of these prompts under each topic. Oh, yeah. And Nyambura will help us to keep the document clean, so don't worry about formatting. We will take care of that. Anything to contribute is, of course, voluntary. And the more the merrier, the more we can learn from the knowledge and the intellect in the room. And now the first task would be for you to maybe put yourself on the map with where you're from, where you're joining from, either for the online participants, most welcome as well, where you're actually sitting now, or from where you travel to Hamburg. Why is this strike through? Anyways, we will clean that up. No worries. So now, as this is populating, the next question is, what is your current role? And that's a multiple choice. And you can either put your initials under, or there's also an other where you can add a more specific one. And yes, you can put more than one answer, or put your initials to more than just one. Now, if you scroll down, so this will be easier to now navigate on your own device. Now to get a status quo of what we have in the room, like where everybody is coming from, is what excites you about peer review, or the idea of AI in combination with peer review. What do you find worrying? What is your major concern? Again, try to keep it to a maximum of 3 comments, or just words, phrases, any of a concise form. And also, how familiar are you with AI tools in peer review? That's more hands-on. Are you actually reviewing? And that can be research articles, but also for evaluation processes or candidates or any form of review exercise. Now scroll down, please. Which of these AI-related activities have you used or seen in peer review? And this kind of, again, is with starring, like voting by adding a star or your initials. It's really up to you, or any other emojicon that you fancy. So which AI tools have you come across, or would you like to explore further? And if the latter, please add a comment. And now we come to a list of AI tools for peer review, some of which you might have heard of or even used. And please contribute to that list to add others that are not yet there, so that we can all learn from each other. With that, you see the first 3 top initiatives, so to say, are by the Center for Open Science. And with that, I'm handing over to Tim to provide his input.
Hi. Okay, so right, I'm Tim Errington. I'm from the Center for Open Science, which is in the US. And Joe was very nice to let me jump in and do this. And what I'm going to do is talk about one of our projects that is trying to provide an opportunity to think about how AI can be incorporated into peer review. But it's a little bit of a different model. So I'm going to spend a little time talking about this pilot demonstration project to give you context, and talk about how we're trying to create a community of which we're allowing tools to get incorporated into the process. And hopefully this sparks exactly what you're looking for, which is all different points of view of, I like it, I hate it, have you guys considered X, Y, all the risks and concerns, which is what we're hoping to do. So the project, the demonstration is called Lifecycle Journal. And like I said, it's just a 3-year project. We're about halfway through that 3-year period. Oh, it buzzes. That's weird. Did not know that. All right, so like I said, I'm going to talk about first this pilot lifecycle journal. So the goal of us doing this is not just to create that platform for AI that I'll get to, but we're trying to see if we can kind of rethink how we can reward and incentivize open science. So that there's a bigger goal, right? That's aligned to our mission, that's aligned with this conference, and also trying to open it up much farther beyond the paper. So really trying to say, listen, data, code, materials, on and on, those all matter as well. They're equally important as the paper. So this is actually our ultimate goal for this, is to see if we can shift that and rethink how we do it. And the process is kind of playing off of some of the innovation that's already occurred, right? So really the model I'm about to show you is a publish before review, or so a publish curate model. Trying to be transparent as much as we can from submission all the way through, open everything up, including the review process that's occurring in the process. To me, one of the innovations that I'll get to is there's no editorial check of you're in or you're out. Right, it's publish curate, so there is no submit like acceptance. It doesn't exist, right? It's in the author's control, and it's not a single peer review. It's many peer reviews, many evaluation services, and this is where the innovation that intersects with this topic and this conference on using AI. And it's not just human-based. We'll be using, like I said, AI-based. And again, our hope is that it's community owned and that we can keep it as open as possible, so diamond open access, but that's a little bit more future-focused. Right now, where we are, just to kind of help give orientation, if we think about the research process, is that full circle. Right now, we have 2 points to submit. One is you can submit your plan, so a pre-registration, so it's like a registered report. The other one is you submit your outcome, like a preprint, right, or a traditional paper. So those are the 2 entry points. We can imagine more, but we simplified it to just do 2 entry points. And like I said, in each of those cases, you have that continual review evaluation process. That looks a bit like this, right? You and author submit, we do eligibility checks, make sure that it fits the criteria. At this point, we can accept almost any discipline, but we still do the checks, make sure there's no plagiarism as well. And then we just publish it. And then once that's done, it's an open evaluation process. And you just keep going round and round, keep versioning the artifacts, be that a plan or a paper, keep versioning the data associated with it, keep versioning even the evaluations and the responses to that. And at any point, the author chooses if they want to have a version of record. So that's very similar to eLife's model, if you're familiar with them, which is that publish curate, and it's all in the author's control, which includes, which we haven't seen, but I'm sure we will, somebody saying, I'm going to go take this to a traditional journal. That's totally fine, because this whole process opens what's happened before it. So I'm going to focus on the evaluation for this. So I'm getting very close to the end to see if we can get some discussion, which is, like I said, multiple forms of evaluation, not single. So this is kind of how it currently looks, and this is still dynamic. So I think I'm actually just as curious to hear what other services you guys have identified, or maybe even are building and testing and experimenting, because we'd love to collaborate with that. But this is what we have now. Right, some of these names are traditional, right? Which we said we want that human peer review. So we still have, PCI peer review. These are human-based methods, but we also have those automated methods that are occurring as well. So, DataSeer, reg check, stat check. That was up in a session the other day, and we try to do it at different stages, right? So it's not just the paper. Let's also do it for registration, code, data, materials. And the part that we're hoping for is that it's also unique. So not every single artifact would be evaluated, only if it's relevant. So OGA, for example, is only good antibodies. They're a bit experimental. That's a group that says, well, if there's a paper in the biomedical sciences that used antibodies, what we're going to do is say, was that antibody validated for use? So if I was doing an experiment or a paper or something in the social sciences, they would never look at it because there's no antibodies. And we expect that to happen, right? Which is it's many evaluations that are customized to the research fields and the communities that are there, and using all of them to the extent you can. And again, this to us is the intersection with AI, which is we think this is a really powerful way to allow for a lot more rapid innovation by doing this completely in the open. So that's it. That's my stage setting. This is the project we're doing, and like I said, just seeing if that helps prompt some of the discussion.